Hello, Oilers fans. Austin here with the pregame report between the Edmonton Oilers and the Colorado Avalanche. Last night, the Edmonton Oilers went into Minnesota and beat them for a second straight time in St. Paul what feels like the first time in my entire life. The Oilers historically have not been good against Minnesota. However, they have now beaten them 7-1 and 5-3 on Minnesota's ice, and that makes me feel a lot better heading into a game like tonight. However, the Oilers are on their fourth game in 6 nights. I could see fatigue being a factor, especially with that higher elevation in Colorado, so we'll see how the Oilers end up playing. We're going to discuss potential line combinations, and of course, I will be giving my predictions, the pregame stats and predictions. So make sure you let me know who your player to watch is and your score prediction down in the comment section below. And if you enjoy these videos, if you have been enjoying them, make sure to smash the like button. And if you really like it and you're not yet subscribed to the channel, and maybe you've kind of found me recently, make sure to subscribe as we continue to build a really great hockey community here on YouTube. Friendly reminder too, I will be live streaming this game tonight. I will be doing a live stream commentary. I'm very much looking forward to it, so hopefully the Oilers can come out on top. But this is going to be a very tough match. This is going to be one of the hardest games the Oilers are going to play all season long. The Colorado Avalanche, they've basically completely turned their season around since acquiring Mackenzie Blackwood and Scott Wedgwood in net. That was a huge deficiency for Colorado for quite a while, was their goaltending situation. But both goaltenders have come into Colorado and they have played great. They've given them an opportunity to win every single night, and they are very hard to beat. So for the Edmonton Oilers, they've got to capitalize on chances. They got to try and get a lead early. That way they can play their defensive game as long as possible. Because if Colorado gets a lead and you start chasing, man, those legs are going to be burning with just how much travel the Oilers have had and the fact that, like I mentioned, fourth game in 6 nights. Edmonton, key to the game tonight, get that first goal. If you can get that first goal and start to feel good about your game and maybe find some adrenaline from it, please do that. The Oilers did go into Colorado earlier this season on the second half of a back-to-back, and they beat them. I believe it was 4-1 way back in November. It was 4-1 back on November 30th, so the Oilers are going to be looking to replicate that type of success. I remember that game. They did not give Colorado very much room to move on the ice. It was very playoff-like, and the goaltending was solid. We need Stuart Skinner to play solid once again. He played great against the Kings. He's coming off that shutout against LA, so we'll see how he plays tonight. Let's check out the projected lineups here. None of this is set in stone. Of course, your Oilers mainstream media folk like Tony Brar or Bob Stauffer are the ones who will likely post the updated lines from morning skate, if they even do a morning skate. No idea what time they even got into Colorado after the Minnesota game last night. Top line will likely be Nugent Hopkins, Connor McDavid, and Zach Hyman. However, that line didn't last very long. After they got down 2-0 against Minnesota last night, they did put McDavid and Draisaitl with Hyman, and then they put Nugent Hopkins centering Podkolzin and Arvidsson. However, Nuge centering Podkolzin and Arvidsson was actually great. That was one of his best games of the entire season. They connected for 2 goals at 5-on-5, including Podkolzin's go-ahead and eventual game winner at the beginning of the third period. So if they do have to, for some reason, put McDavid and Draisaitl together once again, I'm very confident in Nugent Hopkins' ability to go down to that second line and make a big difference there. Second line so far penciled in. We do have Podkolzin with Draisaitl and Arvidsson. I already mentioned Vasily Podkolzin's game winner last night. Kind of a lucky one, kind of a fluky one, but you know what? You take those. Vasily Podkolzin, he absolutely deserves it for how he's been playing this season at 5-on-5. I know he only averages about 13 minutes of time on ice per night. I would love to see him get about 15, 16, even 17 minutes because he does so much for the team away from the puck. He keeps plays alive. He is very hard on defenders, and he is an absolute menace to deal with. For Leon Draisaitl, he continues his Hart Trophy style season. He'll be going up against Nathan MacKinnon tonight, who is also in the running for the Hart Trophy. I know it's only January, but we are talking about the awards season already here. But Leon Draisaitl, he's having a season to remember. This is the best we've ever seen him play, especially defensively. You know, Draisaitl's always been an offensive juggernaut, but the way he plays defensively this season is something that is just truly remarkable to watch. He has found another gear, which I didn't even think was possible, so you love to see that. And of course, Victor Arvidsson rounds out the top 6 there with the forward group. He's been playing real solid, almost had an empty netter last night. And again, he does a lot of really good things away from the puck that makes it really difficult for the other team to get any kind of forecheck going. Third line, likely Matthias Janmark, Adam Henrique, and Connor Brown. However, this line has been very, very poor as of late. Their expected goals metrics have been awful. They're getting caved in a lot. And, you rely on all three of those players on the penalty kill. They give up 2 power play goals last night, so you'd like to see a little bit more from this third line. You'd like to see them try and generate something at 5-on-5. They have not really been able to do that for a little while here. So if that third line is going to stay intact as is, we need a lot more from it because right now we're not getting enough. Fourth line, Corey Perry, Noah Philp, and Kasperi Kapanen. Now, I don't know if this is going to be set in stone. I don't know if Noah Philp is going to get to play both games of the back-to-back here. I didn't mind Noah Philp's game last night. He didn't get a whole lot of ice time, but I did like his on-ice positioning. I did like where he was in the neutral zone and defensive zone. He had a couple shot attempts, which was nice to see, and he didn't look out of place, and that's a real good thing. You always worry about certain players that come up that don't have a lot of NHL experience. Do they look comfortable? Or do they look uncomfortable? I thought Noah Philp looked pretty comfortable last night. When you're not really noticing him in any negative light, that's a pretty good sign, so we'll see if he stays in. And then, of course, the scratches, Jeff Skinner and Derek Ryan, they were both scratched last night. Who knows if either of them or both of them get into the lineup today? I highly doubt both will get in, although unless they scratch, like Perry and Philp for Ryan and Skinner. I'm not sure. Jeff Skinner has been a healthy scratch 3 straight games. If he doesn't play tonight, that's 4 straight games, and you have to wonder if behind the scenes they're trying to work on something to get him traded because at this point, you want to make right of the player. Jeff Skinner, I don't think, especially as of late, like before this most recent stretch where he's been healthy scratched, he'd been playing much better. He had a 3-game point streak, and then they played Pittsburgh. The whole team didn't play very well against Pittsburgh, and he has not seen the ice since. And it's tough to just point the finger at one specific player. Earlier in the season, I was very hard on Jeff Skinner. More recently, I've been a little bit more lenient because you have seen the effort level. You've seen him win board battles, and he was getting points. He was scoring. So it's really interesting to see how they've worked with Jeff Skinner. I'm not sure what the future has in store for this player. I don't know if they're working on things off the ice with him, maybe a lot of video, a lot of different coaching. It's tough for me to question Chris Knobloch's tactics here because Chris Knobloch is one of the best coaches in the entire NHL. He gets a lot from this group. He gets the most out of this group. And, for how good of a coach he is and the team is winning, maybe it's just the fact that the team keeps winning. And he's like, you know what? Why am I going to mess with this lineup? So we'll see what happens with Jeff Skinner. Let me know your thoughts on the Jeff Skinner situation in the comment section below. On defense, Matthias Ekholm with Evan Bouchard, assuming Ekholm is healthy. He did not do the morning skate yesterday, and he looked pretty slow, and he looked a little off last night. So we'll see if Ekholm does continue to draw into the lineup here. Darnell Nurse with Troy Stetcher, Brett Kulak with Ty Emberson, and Josh Brown is the extra. Now, I didn't even want to put Josh Brown on my screen here. Josh Brown had a night to forget, in my opinion. He did not have a good night. He took a bad penalty that led to a Minnesota goal. Josh Brown will very quickly overstay his welcome if he keeps getting regular ice time. And, it's not that I don't hate players, right? I don't hate certain players, especially on a personal level. This is just me as a fan analyzing. The Edmonton Oilers are better when Josh Brown is not in the lineup. Yes, he played a couple good games until last night, but this is what happens with Josh Brown. If you play him consistently, eventually those cracks that show in previous games will absolutely crumble long-term. And Josh Brown last night, there's a reason why many fans do not want him in the lineup. So he's my extra defenseman. I really want to see Troy Stetcher back in this lineup. Unless Stetcher's banged up, I don't know what's going on with Troy Stetcher. I don't think he's played poorly enough at all to warrant being out of the lineup. If he is healthy, of course. If he's not healthy, that's a totally different situation. But Josh Brown, they need to do something here because I don't like him in the lineup right now. And in goal, we're going to have Stuart Skinner, of course. Like I mentioned, coming off that shutout against the LA Kings, you'd like to see him put together a second consecutive solid game here. Can't go from that Bruins shutout to Pittsburgh. We need him to be really solid right from the get-go. He may have to give his team a chance to win in the first period. I expect some heavy legs to start. And as the game progresses, you'll see the Oilers start to find their game. So Stuart Skinner, he's got to make saves early for this team if they want to have a chance to win. Now let's get into the game day predictions. The Colorado Avalanche, they are 27-17-1. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. Their expected goals for at 5-on-5 ranks 16th in the league at 50.44%. Power play ranks 17th, 21.2%. Their penalty kill also ranks 17th, 78.9%. They score 3.31 goals per game, which ranks 6th. They give up 3.09 goals per game, which ranks 18th. However, if you look at when they acquired Wedgwood and Blackwood, that goals against average is way, way, way lower. They have not been giving up nearly as many goals as they were earlier in the season. So the goals against per game average is a little bit inflated because of the first month and a half, 2 months of the year. So there is a bit of extra context to look at there. Corsi 4 ranks 4th in the league at 53.01%, and shots for percentage ranks 6th in the NHL at 52.82%. Now, if you take a look at their expected goals for, they rank 16th, but their Corsi 4 ranks 4th. What that shows me is the team, the Colorado Avalanche, that is, they take a lot of low danger shots. They've put a lot of volume towards nets. They're not as selective in their shot selection. You know what I'm saying. So for the Oilers, expect volume shots, a lot of shots from the outside. They go for rebounds. They look for junk in front. They look for tips. And if you can cover the middle of the ice, cover the slot area, cover those cross crease passes, if you're not able to let them get a lot of lateral movement on Stuart Skinner, I have a good feeling that they can have some success tonight. On the Oilers side, they are 28-13-3. They are also 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. The expected goals for at 5-on-5 ranks 3rd in the league, 54.91%. Their power play continues to click very strongly right now. It ranks 8th in the NHL at 25%. Penalty kill gave up a couple goals last night, but overall it's been great over the last month and a half, 75.8%. Goals for per game ranks 8th at 3.30. Goals against per game ranks 7th at 2.73. Corsi 4 ranks 3rd in the league, 54.08%, and their shots for percentage ranks 2nd at 55.04%. My players to watch tonight are Nathan MacKinnon and Vasily Podkolzin. Like I mentioned with Nathan MacKinnon, he is having a Hart-worthy style season this year, and I know I always joke about the empty netters with him and Rantanen, and I've had a few people be like, okay, I think this joke has run on long enough. Listen, as long as Colorado keeps getting empty net points, I'm going to keep talking about it, because Rantanen and MacKinnon right now are on pace to break the all-time empty net point record for a regular season, which I think is 15. I think the record is 15 empty net points in one single season. I think MacKinnon right now has 12. Rantanen has 13. I'm not sure what the actual total points are, but I will keep mentioning it because I do think it's funny, and obviously not everyone is going to have fun with that joke when I mention it every single time. But when these two teams go up against each other, of course I'm going to mention the empty net stuff. It's just a fun narrative. It's fun to have a little bit of a meme and fun time with. However, my score prediction, and now this is where Oilers fans, this is where you can get mad at me. This is a tough one because as much as I want this team to win, I can't always predict them to win every single game. At some point, I've got to predict them to lose, and this is a situation where I really want them to show and prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Oilers, but I am going to go 4-2 Avs here. I just think this is a really tough matchup tonight with the style that Colorado plays, with how fast they are, how aggressive they are, and the fact that they have better goaltending now than they did earlier in the season. For Edmonton, 4th game in 6 nights, tons of travel. They've been on the road. They've been at home. This is going to be a tough one. I expect Colorado to jump on Edmonton early. I expect the Oilers to do a bit of a pushback late, but I do expect the Avs to win this one. 4-2 is my score prediction. Of course, that doesn't mean I don't want the team to win. That's just what I'm thinking is going to happen tonight on a realistic level. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. It means the world. Last night's post-game reaction, I don't know if it's part to do with like the thumbnail that I used or if there was just that much excitement and hype for the win, but we had over 115 likes on that post-game reaction. The view count as of right now, the recording of this video, was at 1,600 views. I mean, you guys absolutely killed it with the support, so I do truly appreciate that. Smash the like button on this one. Smash the subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed. Tell all your friends and family about my channel if you think they would enjoy it. And of course, as always, make sure you tell someone that you love them and fight like a kid. Fight like Ben. I'll see you tonight for the live stream, Oil Country. Take care.